What's up, guys? It's your girl Foxy here, and thanks for tuning in. So, today I thought I would give you guys a part two of how to get pregnant with twins. Now, I know you guys loved that video because my god, the response was just, we were just baffled, okay? So, thanks a lot for tuning into that. And you had a lot of questions. Now, I couldn't comment on all the questions, and a lot of you were just really affirming, the process of manifesting and saying you believe in it, and some of you guys already practice it in your life. So that was really awesome to see. And I did see a few moms out there that said who have twins, who are twin moms, and they were like, we use the same thing. Like, for one of them said when they were younger, all they wanted was to have twins, but they didn't think much of it. They got married and then they had twins, which I thought was amazing because it goes to how strong the power of the mind is, and just faith and believing in yourself, and believing in the higher power is just amazing. So thanks a lot for that. So I wanted to also give a little shout out to that video because a lot of you love the dress. Now this dress is a very special outfit of mine. So my husband actually got this for me. I sent him. So it's by a store called JLux Label. On Instagram, and I sent one of them. I think it was approaching our anniversary or my birthday, and I sent him one of this actual dress in this green color. And I said to him, when you feel like buying something special for your wife, this is something you can think about. And so he did. He bought it for me. I think it was about to be my birthday, and so I don't have a lot of occasions when I can wear it. So I've worn it, I think, twice now, including last Christmas, but I thought I would wear it for that video and this one too because you guys loved it so much. So JLux Label on Instagram, I'll put a link in the description of their Instagram page. But yeah, guys, so back to this, the twins, okay? So I'll start with the delivery because a lot of you guys had a lot of questions about, what was it actually like? Because delivering one child is hard enough and borderline traumatic for some first moms. I remember my first experience, when I delivered my daughter, was quite dramatic. But I wanted to just, kind of give an overview of how that went. Like I said in my delivery video, which I will link above, I did state that, we had to get induced with the twins because we went into preterm labor at 33 weeks. It was a bit dramatic and a bit scary, in all honesty, because they're still so tiny. When you think about 33 weeks for a singleton, is different when you have 33 weeks with twins because they usually measure on the smaller side. And as you guys can tell, I'm quite petite, okay? I'm a very small framed lady. So you couldn't even tell that there were two of them in there. So they, I was expecting them to be more on the smaller side. So I was terrified, and they were saying, it's not ideal for them to come at 33 weeks because the chances of them really thriving outside the womb is quite slim. So it was quite scary, and they had thrown the idea of doing an emergency C-section a few times when the contractions were really picking up. But yeah, so we got into that, and so they managed to hold off the contractions. They gave me steroids to mature the twins' lungs in case they were born at 33 weeks. Then they gave me medication that stopped the contractions. So the first night that didn't work, the contractions picked up again. But after 24 hours, then it sort of worked. The second dose worked and slowed the contractions and took them to a complete stop. So then I was able to go home, and then we were back again at 3 weeks later. I think 2.5 weeks later, we were back to have them. So we did an induction. I was there for a couple of days, and we went into the labor room. And I can tell you guys, it was a breeze. And I know, this is probably, most moms wouldn't say labor is a breeze, but it was for me. It was just such a calm environment to bring my babies into. I know my midwife very well. I've known her for, I want to say, more than 10 years now. She helped me deliver all my babies except my son. She was a midwife with him, but not for the delivery. But other than that, we were comfortable with each other. And so we were able to just sort of have this cool vibe. It was so relaxed. we're having casual conversations. And yes, I had an epidural. It's highly recommended to have an epidural when you have twins in case anything happens. You know, you could have one twin, deliver one twin, but then the other could sort of do a flip during labor, and then you'll have to get a C-section or turn, you know, sideways. So I decided to, I opted with the epidural that you can dispense, you know, whenever you want to. So I sort of let it be for a little while until, you know, the hard work came towards the end. I was just, you know, pressing the life out of it. But yeah, so it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. You know, it was just a normal labor right up until, you know, pushing the first baby out was fine. But then that second baby was like, I was really like, man, this epidural, I probably threw it off because I was like, okay, hands on deck, let's get the second baby out. Because my son, you know, it was really tricky, you know, my second baby was tricky to come down, and I was wondering, like, and my midwife kept looking at me like, push, and I said, I am pushing. This baby's just not budging, only to find out that he was born in a sac. So he came out still in his amniotic sac, which was just amazing. Apparently it happens 1 in 80,000 births, mostly C-sections, or most common in premature babies, being that they're more petite. But yeah, so that was really cool. There's about a 15-minute gap between my babies, which is also considered, my midwife said it was quite long for twins. You know, they're usually born right after the other, or obviously if it's a C-section, they're pulled out one after the other. But yeah, I had a breeze. Honestly, it was amazing. The care at the hospital we gave birth at was amazing. The midwife, my personal midwife, was amazing, but she had to go after a couple of hours. And then the midwife that took over, who was actually there during the labor and took over my post, you know, delivery care, she was also amazing. I'll insert photos here. Like, it was a beautiful experience, but also overwhelming because you know you're giving birth to twins because you've seen the scans, you know you're pregnant with twins, but only when they come out and it's like, wow, that's one human being. And then the second one, you're like, there was really two in there. Like, there were two people in there. So that was a bit like, you know, you had to wrap my head around that for a few minutes, but it was amazing. And I can't stress how important it is to have a good midwife. You know, they are everything because they really guide you through your pregnancy. They guide you through the pregnancy, you develop a bond, and then the delivery is very crucial because your bond with your midwife can really determine, their experience can determine on how well it goes. And, you know, a lot of women experience some really scary stuff that happened during labor, like ripping and, you know, tearing. I didn't have any of that with any of my deliveries. I just locked eyes with my midwife and I said, I'm going to listen to you, so you better guide me well, okay? When you tell me stop, I'm going to stop. If you tell me hold, I will hold. But yeah, so it went really well, guys. Now, after having the twins, you know, you go through a whole lot of emotions. And so we were in the hospital for 3 days after, I think 2 or 3 days after having the twins. But because my babies they didn't need to go to NICU, so they stayed with me. And so we could leave whenever. But because my second twin was just under 2.5 kilos, we had to just sort of, they had to monitor him and make sure that he was gaining the weight and retaining the heat and his sugar levels were fine. And so we had to stay a little bit longer, but I really felt I needed to go home. The hospital didn't feel like a place I could recover well. It didn't feel like a place where I could, you know, ease into a routine or just enjoy my babies and try figure it out. You know, it's new for me. It was new. I mean, not having a baby wasn't new, but having 2 babies was new for me. And I felt I needed my husband's support. I needed my family around me. I needed to see my family and be in a familiar environment. You know, I wanted to be home. But they were just gently, just sort of telling me, no, you can't go home. And I remember saying to my midwife, and I was crying, guys. I felt like every second I was crying. And my midwife said, look, it's not a prison. You know, hospitals are not meant to be a prison. You can self-discharge whenever you want. The baby's weight is not an issue. The baby was drinking, my babies were drinking not a lot of breast milk because the latching was an issue, but they were okay and they were gaining all right. So she said, you can self-discharge, you can leave whenever, we will monitor. Like, she was going to support me to monitor the baby's growth and all that when we were at home. So I desperately wanted to go home. So I had a few meltdowns in the hospital with I think I made one of the nurses cry as well. Like, at one point we were both crying, and the poor girl, I think she was just doing the best for my child. She wanted to do the prick test, the sugar test on the bottom of the foot, and I hated those because they had to do them once every day anyway, but she wanted to do an extra one because she said, oh, I think the baby might be developing jaundice or whatever. I said, my baby's not developing jaundice. He's sleepy. Like, the prem babies are just sleepy babies. You really got to wake them up and get them up for a feed, or else they'll just sleep all the way. So we had a bit of an issue there, but we managed to work it out, and we both sort of cried, and I think she understood that I was really heavily hormonal. And also, you're in a vulnerable state after giving birth. But anyway, so we managed to go home, and life with the twins at home, it was amazing, but overwhelming. Obviously you're adjusting to a new routine. So the same thing with the singleton baby, waking up every 3 hours with a newborn. But because there's two of them, you're changing 2 nappies instead of the one. If they do an accident, you have to change both babies, and it's not hard. I found that with the newborn twins, I didn't find it hard. I just found it time consuming. So something that you would quickly wrap up within like 10 minutes with one baby, so feeding, changing, and then putting back to sleep, it would take double the time with the twins. And that's exactly how it was throughout. So the first month was exhausting. I had a few meltdowns. My husband was meant to go back to work, and I told him, you're not going anywhere. You're going to take an extra week off work because I need you here. Because I still had to be taking the bigger kids to school. I had my son to take to daycare, my daughter to take to school and back. And so putting the twins in the car, dropping the kids off, and then taking the twins back, and all that was just a lot. And then being sleep deprived, trying to come up with the routine. And this is, uncharted territory. It's new. It's a new thing for me. So it was a lot. The first month, I can tell you, and if you are watching this and you're a twin mom and you're in your first month, it gets better. Hold on. I know it feels overwhelming. It feels difficult, but it gets better. Don't worry, and just listen to your body. You don't have to keep the house clean. We didn't have any help. My mom came down to help us during the delivery, but she had to get back to work. So the day we got back, she wasn't even home. The day I got back, actually, she had left the night before. So we didn't have any help. I mean, we had family, but I suppose everyone's kind of busy with their lives and work. So I didn't have anybody to do the washing, to do whatever. Like, my mom had done a load of washing before I came, but still, we had to figure it out. So take it easy on yourself. If you don't have other help, don't worry about the washing that's piling up in the corner. Let it be, because what's important, mommy, is your mental well-being, your physical well-being, and the babies. And if you just figure yourselves out, and you'll be fine. So the first month was the hardest, and it gets easier. There is light at the end of that tunnel. The more they grow, I remember us giving the babies, the twins, their first bath. Oh my gosh, guys. They were so tiny. I felt like oh my goodness. I felt like I was going to drop them or bump one of them by the sink. It was just, and then, they're moving with their tiny fingers, and it was just so nerve-wracking, but also so special that here's this beautiful life I've been waiting 8.5 months to meet, and here we are. It was just such a beautiful experience. And I look back at those videos now, and I see my sons now. I'll insert a video of them at a park. I mean, they're climbing on those picnic chairs. They're running all over the place. They're just boys, They're boys, and they are rough with it. They wrestle each other. They cry. They love each other. They hug each other. It's like an up and down. And 1 minute you think you figured them out. You think one twin is the calm one, the other is the more, social one. and then you take them in public and they flip roles, and the quiet calm one is now super obsessed with being out in the world and seeing people and waves, and it's a joy being a twin mom. People say double the trouble. It's double the fun. It is double the fun. And I mean, right now, guys, the twins are about to be, like I said, they're about to be 2 years old. So they're at that toddler stage where they're touching everything. They're curious about their environment. They're understanding things like our baby Nicodemus. You tell him, go get a nappy, and he already knows to go get a nappy, and he'll go and grab the wipes. And Nicola, you tell him, tidy up, and he'll pick up the toys and put them in the toy box. They are such a joy. So it does get easier. They are a blessing in disguise. And I just wanted to touch on another point that one of you asked, about manifestation. And a lot of you did say that you use that, you manifest. You guys are into prayers. You pray about things and you ask for things and they come into fruition. And I can guarantee you guys, it is some sort of a formula. And I know a lot of people were like, some people were disappointed. They were like, oh, the video was going great right up until the point where you said there's twins in you and your husband's family. No. Okay, so let's actually address that, because yes, there are twins in my grandmother. My uncles are twins, fraternal twins. And my husband's youngest brothers are identical twins. And so I'll address that in the sense that, okay, yes, there's twin blood, it runs in the family or whatever. But in saying that, wouldn't all our siblings have twins if that's the case? If you're going to say, oh yeah, it just runs in your family. No. I mean, yes, to some extent it's chance, and yes, the DNA plays a role, but this is something I desperately wanted. When I mean desperately, I was obsessed. You guys, I thought I was like low-key going crazy about it, because I would see signs of twins everywhere. I said in the previous videos, like, I would see signs in little things, and that's what happens when you are wanting something, or you have an idea or a vision of something. You start seeing it. Like, you buy a red car, you start seeing red cars everywhere. You buy a BMW, you start seeing BMWs everywhere. It feels like everyone and down on your street has a BMW, because that's what it is. You attract what you think of, and what you have in your head, and the narrative you tell yourself in your head is the life you live. It's a reflection of it, and you see it all around you. So I truly believe that, yes, we manifested this. And yes, great. It was amazing. If we had the advantage of it being in our genes, then that's an extra bonus. Why not? But don't let that discourage you. If you are wanting twins, or anything in your life, you can apply this concept to anything. It can be, if you aspire to be more positive in life. Some people, it's not even, maybe if you want to get a job, if you want to get a job promotion, you can actually visualize it, do a vision board, visualize yourself in that role. If you want a bigger house, or if you want to downsize to a smaller house and you're trying to figure out how to do that, it's in everything, guys. Like, I would even like boil it down. If you guys watch The Secret on, I don't know if it's still on Netflix, but they talk about parking lots. Something as simple as wanting a parking lot. So I have a thing where when I go to the supermarket or to the mall, I want to be closest to the door. I don't know if everybody else is like this. Just convenience and low-key laziness. I don't want to walk too far. I'm already going to walk up and down that shop. You don't want me walking from my parking spot all the way to the front door. So I visualize it. I tell myself I'm going to have that spot right there. And I want to say 85% of the time I do. I get it. Or just as I pull up, someone's pulling out. So it's that visualization and realizing that we are part of a big network. We are intertwined in this network of life. We are all connected. And, if you have positive thoughts, if you tell yourself positive narratives in your head, life will be more positive. You will, stop having high blood pressure. You won't be panicking about everything. We're human. Fine. It will happen once in a while. But don't dwell on it. You move on to the next one and be positive and be focused about what you want. Because you are, the way I see it, you are the co-author of your life. You're writing this book of your life with God. or whatever faith you believe in or whatever faith you practice. But the reality is, you know, we manifested this. I manifested this because I wanted twins. Ideally, like I said, I wanted a boy and a girl. But you know how life is. I got 2 boys and I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm definitely a boy mom. Like me and my daughter, she's not like the girly girl as well just yet. But we have a great bond. But I see how, you know, I understand it. I get it. I get how some people can just have all girls and be cool with it, or all boys. Because, you know, some of us are just boy moms, you know. We're boy moms, and you know, boys and girls are quite different, and raising them is quite different. And I heard that boys do get a bit more expensive, but nevertheless, I do think I am more happy with the 2 twins being boys, because you know, you can tell how they really just feed off each other. They are like the same person. 1 minute one is like super kind and caring, and they're quite defensive now as well, and then the other two, like today, one would be very mischievous, and be picking on his other brother, grabbing every toy he has, and then the next day it's like roles are switched again. It is wild, I tell you. But honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. Being a mummy of 4 at my young age as well, I really think it's awesome. And yeah, comment below, guys. Comment below if you have any questions. I will endeavor to respond to all your questions. But thanks a lot for the response I get on the previous video. Stay tuned for more videos about twin lives, mummyhood, and just sort of like lifestyle videos, okay? And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and join the family. Ciao!